Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm going to do a classic rock reaction. This is a little bit different from what I've been doing over the past little while. It's a reaction to a British rock band, Led Zeppelin, and this track is called Since I've Been Loving You. My friends have said, okay, put the brakes on reacting to the anti-war theme for a little bit and just change beats a little. So I'll do that. I'm still going to continue with my anti-war platform, but I'll take a look at what they've got to show me. So Led Zeppelin, Since I've Been Loving You. Let's get it. Okay, Led Zeppelin 3. That was the album cover. Definitely got its feet dipped in the blues. Oh. Nice long intro. Organs. I love the organ in this, guys.
I don't think that's right.
Good voice, man.
I've really been the best of food. I did what I could, yeah. Oh, some love you, baby. How I love you, darling. How I love you, baby.
Really good voice.
Girl, little girl. Baby, since I've been loving you, yeah. I'm about to lose my war and my
Listen to that guitar come in.
Everybody trying to tell me that it didn't leave me no good. I've been trying. Lord,
Wow.
let me tell I really did the best I could. I've been working from 7 to 11.
Listen to those drums. The bass line is killing me.
Kind of makes me laugh and drag. Lord, yeah, let me ride now.
Wow.
Since I've been loving you, I'm about to lose my working mind.
I'm about to lose my worried mind. Hold on a sec, guys. Wow. Hang on, I gotta take this off. Yo, sorry for the pause. Wow, man. Okay, first impressions. What I was expecting from this group was something, I don't know, not so bluesy, not so thunderous. It's really really strong. It's like the blues, but there's rock in it. There's soul in it. Uh, I'm at a loss here for a sec. I can't tell you who the better musician is right now, because the bass line is incredible. The drums, between the drums and the bass, and then you've got some organ in there. The guitar. This guy can switch from strong electric strumming to really nice flowing acoustics. He accommodates the singer as he goes into the chorus of explaining his life. And then as they exit the chorus, he gets into the heavier strumming again to set up the next thing. And then as the guitar does something really awesome, the drums immediately follows. It's like follow the leader, follow me. What I expected from Led Zeppelin is what I thought I knew about them. What I mean is I'm familiar with their popular mainstays, like Stairway to Heaven. I know Black Dog. I know that song that is always playing in movies these days, like the Thor Ragnarok song, Come From the Land in the Ice and the Snow, and an Immigrant Song. So I thought I was familiar with Led Zeppelin only because I know their 3 or 4 signature songs. And, you know, there's a lot of artists out there who are really, really successful just based on their 3 and 4 signature songs. And I guess I just never thought to look into it more. I never thought I needed to know more about them. And I thought, just like the Jan and Dean era, the Bay City Rollers era, where these guys are good-looking young men, I thought that they were kind of more of a really popular gimmick because they were good-looking. And but god damn, these instrumentals are incredible. You know, between blues and between rock and between everything else in the middle. Yeah, going back to what I said, I can't tell you who is the better musician out of these guys right now. Anyway, man, enough of that. Let's keep going. He plays a double neck guitar, 12 string and a 6 string. It's tall as hell too. Wow, man. Wow. Yo, this is the blues and then some.
Set up the felt like rain. Don't you hear that? Don't you hear the falling?
I'm checking out these lyrics. They're great lyrics.
Don't you hear the falling?
Don't you hear my tears falling? Wow.
Do you remember, Mama, when I knocked up on you door? I said you had the nerve to tell me you didn't want me no more. Over my front door, I hear my back door slam. You know I must have one of them newfangled back door I've been
I
away.
open up my front door and my back door slammed. Wow. Listen to that.
Baby, since I've been loving you, I'm about to lose. I'm about to lose my mind.
Unbelievable, man.
Just one more. Just one more.
Just one more. Damn. This drummer's amazing. Unbelievable. Wow. Man, hold up. Sorry about that. Yo, guys, what did I just hear? Okay. Confession time. You never assume you heard about that whole making an ass of yourself. I've assumed that I know, not that I'm a great authority, but that I knew enough about Led Zeppelin. And when I say knew enough, I was familiar with their popular commercial jingles, Stairway to Heaven, Immigrant Song, like I mentioned, that's on all of the movies now, Rock and Roll, and Black Dog. And a lot of successful recording artists have 3 to 4, signature commercial songs. And so I was aware of Led Zeppelin's 4 or maybe more commercial songs. And my impression of them was that, yeah, they're a good looking band, good sounding band. They've got a unique sound, and I can see why they were so popular and successful. End of story. But I never looked deeper than that because I assumed that that was probably the best that they had to offer, and there wasn't really much in behind it. Because like I said, there's a lot of one-hit wonders out there. They're heralded as being very, very successful, among the best of all time, and they've only got 1 or 2 good songs, and that's the assumption. But this is something else entirely, and confession time again. How this came about, me listening to this song in particular, was a couple of my friends have been taking notice of me being very, very focused. They say distracted by getting my channel going. And of course, I kicked off my channel with the idea of doing a lot of anti-war, Vietnam-themed songs. Now you understand it's very, very enlightening. It's very fascinating. It's intriguing, the stories and all of those things. So it took up a lot of my time. I was learning a lot, researching things. And now that my posts have gone on to YouTube, I'm getting feedback from it, and I'm actually learning just as much from my associates on YouTube. So anyway, it took a lot of my time over the last couple of weeks, so my friends have noticed that I've been really getting into this. And so they said, jokingly, lovingly, that this is a bit of an intercession to shake me out of it. Because I would research, let's say, a song. Between researching it, sourcing it, shooting, editing, all of those different things, I would look up and 6 hours have gone by, and it's dark outside, and I'm like, oh my God, okay, I didn't realize that, it's just too late to do anything now. So I get their point. And so this song and Led Zeppelin was kind of like a break in my focus, trying to divert my focus a little bit, create some balance. So when they recommended this song to me to react to, when they insisted that I react to it, I knew that well, I didn't know that it would be like this. They said to me that you are really in for it. So now I know what they mean. They knew that I would like this. They knew that this would be right up my alley and then some. Okay, so enough of that. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of a history as to what's happening. I'm not shifting away from the anti-war, the Vietnam theme, but I am going to incorporate a little bit of something more. So a little bit more about that later. But for now, I want to get into a little bit of this song here and Led Zeppelin. So let me just bring up my Wikipedia here. There's my Wikipedia page. Led Zeppelin. Okay. Led Zeppelin were an English rock band formed in London in 1968. The group consisted of guitarist Jimmy Page, singer Robert Plant, bassist and keyboardist John Paul Jones, and drummer John Bonham. The band's heavy guitar-driven sound has been led to be cited as one of the progenitors of heavy metal. Their style drew from a variety of influences, including blues, psychedelia, and folk music. Okay. Blues, psychedelia, so that's something that I never knew about them. And just listening to their conventional hits, you wouldn't know that there is just so much behind them. Getting an education here, man. After changing their name from the New Yardbirds, Led Zeppelin signed a deal with Atlantic Records that afforded them considerable artistic freedom. They used to be the Yardbirds. Okay. Although the group were initially unpopular with critics, they achieved significant commercial success with albums such as Led Zeppelin, Led Zeppelin 2, Led Zeppelin 3, Led Zeppelin 4, Houses of the Holy, Physical Graffiti, Presence, and In Through the Outdoor. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, so 8 albums. Their fourth album, which features the song Stairway to Heaven, is among the most popular and influential works in rock history, and it helped to secure the group's popularity. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about, one song is all you need. And when you have a monster hit like Stairway to Heaven, you probably don't need to look further. But that's the assumption. Doing that assuming thing again. Page wrote most of Led Zeppelin's music, particularly early in their career, while Plant generally supplied the lyrics. Jones's keyboard-based compositions later became central to the group's catalog, which featured increasing experimentation. The latter half of their career saw a series of record-breaking tours that earned the group a reputation for excess and debauchery. Okay, that is definitely a rock and roll band. True rock and roll band. Although they remained commercially and critically successful, their output and touring schedule were limited during the late 70s, and the group disbanded following Bonham's death from alcohol-related asphyxia in 1980. Yeah, I knew about that. I knew that John Bonham had died. In the decades that followed, the surviving members sporadically collaborated and participated in one-off Led Zeppelin reunions. The most successful of these was the 2007 Ahmet Ertegun tribute concert in London, with Jason Bonham taking his late father's place behind the drums. Well, he's got to be damn good if he's going to take his father's place. Led Zeppelin are widely considered one of the most successful, innovative, and influential rock groups in history. They are one of the best-selling music artists in the history of audio recording. Various sources estimate the group's record sales at 200 to 300 million units worldwide. With RIAA certified sales of 111.5 million units, they are the second best-selling band in the US. Well, these guys were British, but we're talking about US sales, so I'm assuming the first best-selling band were the Beatles. Each of their 9 studio albums placed in the top 10 the Billboard album chart, and 6 reached the number 1 spot. They achieved 8 consecutive UK number 1 albums. Wow. Let me read that again. They achieved 8 consecutive UK number 1 albums. Rolling Stone magazine described them as the heaviest band of all time. The heaviest band of all time. The biggest band of the 70s, and unquestionably one of the most enduring bands in rock history. Definitely, I knew that. I knew both of that. They were really big in the 70s, and definitely they're enduring. I still hear about them everywhere. Well, I got so many friends that are fans of them. I can't escape it. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in '95. The museum's biography of the band states that they were as influential during the 1970s as the Beatles were during the 1960s. Okay, wow. Well, it's no surprise now that I'm listening to some of their other stuff other than their what I view as their 4 conventional commercial hits. So if they've got more songs as good as those, I can understand now why they were such a great influence. Okay, so about the song itself, the formation of the song. Since I've Been Loving You was released in 1970 on the album Led Zeppelin 3. It was one of the first songs prepared for the Led Zeppelin 3 album. The song was recorded live in the studio with very little overdubbing. It was reportedly the hardest to record. John Paul Jones played Hammond organ on the song, using the bass pedals instead of a bass guitar. John Bonham's preferred drum pedal, the Ludwig Speed King Model 201. If you listen carefully, you can hear it squeak. He has been called the Squeak King. Okay, I gotta go back and listen to that song. Jimmy Page did his guitar solo in one take. One take. That incredible guitar solo. That song would only be half as good if that solo wasn't in it. That was incredible. And that had to have lasted for a decent minute and a half, maybe two. The riff in the beginning is taken from New York City Blues by the Yardbirds. Jimmy Page was not a member of that band yet when the group wrote that song. Okay, yeah. So I wrote a note for myself about that. I'll talk about that later. With some electric piano played by Led Zeppelin bass player John Paul Jones, this was a live favorite for the band. They started working on the song during the sessions for Led Zeppelin 2, but was bumped for Whole Lotta Love. By the time they recorded it for Led Zeppelin 3, they had worked out the song in live performances, but according to Jimmy Page, it was still the hardest track to record for the album. The guitarist says they were getting very self-critical around this time. They were getting self-critical. Okay, I imagine at this point, they're 3 albums in. They were successful with the first 2. They've now got an image. They've now got haters. They've got people expecting things. So yeah, I guess you would start being self-critical. Okay, I get that. Led Zeppelin 3, Lester Bangs of Rolling Stone wrote that the track represents the obligatory slow and lethally dull 7-minute blues jam. Okay, I know what he's talking about. In the world of blues, there is a characteristic dragging riff to blues music. That's a common characteristic in blues, and it's the platform that allows you to sing about, oh, my baby left me, and all of that sort of thing. So I see what he's talking about here. I don't think that he's putting the song down. I think that he's saying that it has that slow pace, that platform in it that is characteristic of a lot of blues songs. I think that's what he's saying. But in contrast, guitarist Joe Satriani enthused, "Since I've Been Loving You" was a perfect example of taking a blues structure but striking out on your own. Absolutely. They were breaking ground, not copying. I love that Page would always just go for it. Some other guitarists might have better technique, but what Page did would always trump it because the spirit was so overwhelming. The spirit was so overwhelming. There it is right there. That's what I was trying to articulate and why I was stumbling over my tongue for the last 10 minutes. The spirit of the delivery of this song is what is overwhelming me. Not only was I unaware that they were capable of producing this sort of work, but the spirit of their delivery is what's overwhelming me right now. Really, really well said. I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna make it mine. Whatever he did would turn into a technique. Audio engineer Terry Manning called it the best rock guitar solo of all time. Wow. I have no reason to doubt that. But you know better than me. Is Terry Manning being personally biased because he was on their engineering team? Or is it really, truly the best guitar solo of all time? Or one of the best? You know, even if it's in the top 5, that's still a winner. Okay, so that's the information about the formation of the song and general information about Led Zeppelin. Speaking about Led Zeppelin a little bit, just a couple of things. Sorry, I got a squeaky chair. I'll try and dull this out with my editing program. Speaking about Led Zeppelin, their history is really, really far-reaching. What I'm getting here is Led Zeppelin is a product of earlier bands. The Yardbirds were part of the early 60s British invasion. These are my friends' notes because they knew that I was coming into Led Zeppelin a little bit more on the green side, so they left some notes for me. We're part of the British invasion, and I think my battery's starting to die here. I'll continue until it dies. The Yardbirds were part of the British invasion, and out of the Yardbirds came Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck, and Jimmy Page was also in the Yardbirds. He came in later, I guess. He came in later after Beck departed. So there's a lot of history. There's a lot of origin here that I've got to look into. And another note from my friends, these guys were barely 20 years old when they started. So they left home, they came to America, they were barely 20. So back then they were probably still virgins. By the time they went back, I bet you they weren't. But as well, they had associations also to the Who. Supposedly, members of the Who recommended the name Led Zeppelin. That's all I got from my friends. I'm just reading their notes here, and I'm hoping that you guys will give me some feedback. You can spare me hours of reading. What else? Yeah, that's about it. And they also wrote here that what I should listen to after this song are When the Levee Breaks, Tea for One, Fool in the Rain, and Custard Pie. So those are the songs that they recommend that I listen to. What do you recommend that I listen to? Because I really dig this whole bluesy rock heavy thing going on. What else? Yeah, they also said that some of their songs have references to Lord of the Rings. So I guess at some point in time they might have been inspired by reading the Lord of the Rings novels, and it's incorporated in their music. So I gotta look into that down the road too. Let me know about that, what particular songs they might be talking about. So, you know, just going back to the song in general, the musicianship is incredible. I can't tell you which one of them, there were 4 of them, I can't tell you which one of them is my favorite, which one of them is better. Of course, they're masters in their respective genre, but if you were to force me, I couldn't tell you right now who I choose. The bass line is incredible. Between the bass and the drums, that's what I call the bass line. It sets that foundation, and then the singer comes in, and then the lead guitar accompanies the singer, sets it up. It's like they're reacting with each other. And also the lead guitar, when the singer is being very emotional and expressive, the lead guitar is also accommodating that. I love that. So man, these guys are absolutely perfect musicians. And I wouldn't have known or discovered this if I just continued to listen to their top 4 commercial songs. So shout out to, Terry, John, Paul, thanks. Shout out to my friends for giving me this. And they knew that it definitely would be something that I like. And Yeah, I'm totally looking forward to checking this out. I'm going to continue, like I said, with my political songs, my anti-war platforms, but I'm also, in addition, going to do this. And it's a good lead-in, too, because I'm planning on doing something about the British invasion. And I know this was later part of the 60s that they came about, but now that I know that they have associations with the Yardbirds, who were part of the British invasion in the early 60s, I'm going to follow that track. I'm kind of going from back to front, but you'll understand. It might be a separate playlist, just the British invasion. Okay, man, I think that's it. Again, great song. Thanks for the recommendation, guys. I appreciate it. Everybody out there, let me know what Led Zeppelin songs you think I should check out, because I assumed wrong that these guys were just commercial fluff. Now I know that these are masterful musicians, and if they have other songs like this in their repertoire, I want to know about it. So give me their top whatever. Obviously it's going to be a top 10 or a top 20, I don't know, but let me know, and I'll definitely make the time to look into it further. All right. Okay, guys, thanks very much for the time. Thanks for hanging with me. I talked a little longer than I expected to, but I'm gonna follow up on this for sure. This was excellent, and thanks again. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Peace.